Hello?
Sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. What is that you can able to see on the screen?
Yes, sir.
What is there on the screen of yours?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is there on
Module
the
1.
screen? Module 1, huh?
Module 1, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, right. So, so welcome back to the second session. Now, last class, okay, now we have discussed about sensors and transducers. Okay. Now, if you look at the module 1, so we have completed up to study of sensors and transducers, pneumatic and hydraulic systems, pneumatic and hydraulic system, mechanical actuation system, electrical actuation system. Now you just observe the process flow is going to be like this. First you will be understanding sensors and transducers. Then you are going to study about the signal conditioning circuit and then about the actuation system. Hello, hello, right. Now please listen carefully. So first is study of sensors and transducers. Then you need to understand the signal conditioning and then the actuation. Okay. So in that view, so second chapter is about the actuation system. Okay. Because without understanding the signal conditioning, it is not so good to go with the actuation system. Now I will be starting with what is called as the third module, which is signal conditioning. Okay. Right. Now this is just the brief for you to understand. Now with this brief note, we will start with signal conditioning. Okay, right. So we shall understand what is called as signal conditioning. Okay, so this is your module 3. Okay, right. Now, can we just start with certain understanding of signal conditioning? Any idea? What is signal conditioning? Yeah. What is signal conditioning basically? So if you understood about the measurement system, okay. So we have three different components of measurement system. One was the sensors and transducers. Second one was what?
Signal condition.
Signal conditioning. Third one was the display.
Display.
Okay, right. Now, signal conditioning is the second component of your measurement system. Okay. Now we know that any output from the sensors or the transducer. Now we have discussed some different types of the transducers, right, or the sensors, right. The output from the sensor before it is going for the display, you have to make certain processing. Okay. So output from the sensor or the transducer has to be processed in some way so that the next stage of operation is going to be carried out. Okay. Basically, signal conditioning, okay, understand carefully. Signal conditioning is the process of modifying the output signal from the sensor, okay, into a usable and satisfactory signal. Okay, so it is what? It is defined as process of, okay, process of modifying, okay, process of modifying. What signal you are going to modify here? Process of modifying the output signal. Okay, it's a process of modifying the output signals from the sensor. Okay, from the sensors. Okay, into usable and satisfactory signal. Okay, into a usable and satisfactory signal. Okay, now this is very important. Okay, now what is that you are doing? This is very important. You are modifying the output signal. Okay, now hence these are also called as, the devices are also called as signal conditioners. Okay, the devices are also called as signal conditioners or signal modifiers. Okay, and as this signal conditioning devices is the intermediate device, so it's also called as the intermediate modifying device. Okay, okay, so these are all the the various names for what is called a signal conditioning. Okay, it's called as a signal conditioner or signal modifier or intermediate modifying devices. Okay, right. Now we'll try to understand what is the necessity of signal conditioning. Okay, what is the necessity of signal conditioning? Okay, what for it is going to be used? Okay, what are the various requirement or the requirement for signal conditioning? Okay, now as I said, so this is mainly used for modifying the signal which is obtained from the sensor. Okay, so now it is not possible for us to send directly the signal obtained from the sensor to the display. Okay, so you require certain modifications. Okay, now what are the reasons for necessity or reasons? You can also understand. Okay, the reasons for signal conditioning. Okay, so it might be what signal. Okay, signal may be low. Okay, signal from the sensor may be too low. Okay, too low and has to be and have to be amplified. Okay, so this is one particular case. Okay, the signal may be too low and have to be amplified. Okay, right. And the second reason might be, okay, the signal is too noisy. The signal is too noisy and have to be filtered. Have to be filtered. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, right. So now signal is digital. Okay, needs to be converted to analog device, analog signal needs to be converted to analog signal. Then similarly, signal is analog. Okay, needs to be converted to digital signal. Okay, right. Then it might be what other is signal is non-linear. Signal is non-linear. Need to be converted to linear signals. Okay, right. Then last maybe signal is having high power input. Devices need to be protected. Okay, devices need to be protected. Okay, right. Now these are all the various reasons which are required for me to use a signal conditioning devices. Okay. Now one by one we'll just go over this. Okay. So first one is what signal may be too low and have to be amplified. Okay. In this case, what is the example is, now assume we are having a thermocouple. Okay. So the output of the thermocouple is what an EMF. Okay. Now the EMF, once it is obtained, it is not possible for me to send that voltage to the display, to the LED display, because the energy what the output of the signal, what output of the thermocouple is having is very small voltage. So I need to be amplified. Okay. So what is that the device that you are going to use for the first one? The device that you are going to use is going to be the what? What is the device? What device you are going to use for the first one?
Amplifier.
Amplifier. Okay, signal is too low, so you have to be amplified. You are going to use what is called as amplifiers. Okay. Then second one is signal is too noisy. Okay, means what the signal what you are having, it consists of many amounts of noise which is present in the hertz. Okay, so that is nothing but more variety of frequencies are going to be present. Okay, now I need to filter those devices. Okay, filter those noises. Okay, in that case I am going to use a device called as the filters. Okay, then next is the output is going to be a digital, but that needs to be converted into analog signal, because some devices are going to use only analog signal. Remember, some devices are going to use only analog signal. Therefore, if the output is digital, you need to convert that into analog. Therefore, you are going to use digital to analog converter. Okay. The next one is signal is analog but needs to be converted to digital. Okay. In that case, you are going to use analog to digital converter. Okay. Right. Then signal what you have got is non-linear, but that needs to be converted to linear signal. Okay. Then last one is the signal whatever you are having is having high power input. Okay, right? Now suddenly in our household, if high power input is going to come, okay, what protection devices you are having at your house? Assume that there is a very high voltage has come now. Okay, right? What is
Fuse.
fuse? Okay, now what is going to happen? You know that high power, that is we call it as MCB switch. Is that correct? Now, okay, or the fuse. Now, what is going to happen if high power is going to come? MCB, what is the MCB switch is going to become?
Breaks the circuits.
Okay, it breaks the circuit. Okay, now once the MCB breaks the circuit, what is that you have done is you have made that you have make sure that the high voltage will not pass to the next devices, by which you have protected the devices. Okay, now these are all the reasons. Okay, reasons why we use why we require the signal conditioning. Okay, please understand. First is the definition. Signal conditioning is nothing but it's a process of modifying the output signal. Please understand. Okay, it's a simple chapter. Okay, please concentrate. It's a process of modifying the output signal obtained from the sensor. Okay, so that you are going to use it for a particular application. Okay, the output should be usable signal and it should be a satisfactory signal. Okay, right. Then when we have listed out some of the necessity of signal conditioning. Okay, right. Now, with this brief understanding, okay, then we'll go further to know about what are the signal conditioning processes. Okay, right. Next we'll go. Okay, right. Signal conditioning processes. Okay, right. Now, the number one is the following are the processes that occur in conditioning a signal. Okay, so various processes are okay. First one is protection. Okay, right. So okay, protection. It means what? The range of output signals. Okay, now in protection is nothing but what? The range of output signals from the transducer. Okay, the range of output signal from the transducer may be so high. Okay, may be so high that as we discussed, it may damage the next unit or the element which needs to be protected. Okay, so hence we are going to use what are going to be called as the protection devices. Okay, so protection is nothing but basically in order to safeguard the devices. Okay, now what is it we are having? In order to safeguard the devices, we use what are going to be called as the MCB, or we use what is called as Zener diode. Okay, now in detail we are going to discuss, but just the point wise, number one is the process that you are going to do. The process that you are going to do is, first one is protection. Protection is the range of output signal from the transducer may be very high, which may damage the next unit. Okay, therefore the device has to be protected. Okay, right. Now you can also have what are going to be called as this. What is this I am doing? What is this? Can you just guess? Okay, what is that I am doing now? What is that I have done? What are these? What are these called as?
Resistors in series.
Okay, resistors in series. Okay, now what is that I am doing now? I have kept the continuous resistors. Okay, I have kept the continuous resistor. What is the purpose of a resistor? What it does?
Resistor.
It resists the flow of current through it. Okay, it resists the flow of current through it. Okay, now when there is assume that when there is a high amount of current is going to be present, so as it passes through the resistors, okay, there is going to be a reduction in the output is going to occur. Okay, right. That's about the protection. Second one is getting. Okay, at least you note down the points, first point, second point, like that. At least getting right type of signals. Okay, getting right type of signals. Okay, now getting right type of signals means what? Okay, whether you require what, analog or digital signals. Okay, whether you require analog or digital signals. Okay, if you require analog signal, so you use what are called as D-body converter. Okay, on the contrary, if the output required is digital signal, you use what are going to be called as the A-body converter. Okay, the question is going to be asked this way also. It is briefly explain the signal conditioning processes. Okay, in that you have to write in this order. Okay, right. So third one is getting right. Now you have to tell me what device is this. Getting correct level of signal. What do you mean by this? What is that I am interested here?
Filtering.
No, level of signal. Amplification. Okay, getting correct level of signal. The process what you are using is you are using the process in order to get the correct level of signal. Okay, so correct level of signal is going to be used to get the amplified signals. Okay, so you use what are called as operational amplifiers. Okay, you are going to use what are called as operational amplifiers. Okay, right. Next is the fourth one is eliminating or reducing noise. Okay, so what is that you are going to use here? What is the device you are going to use?
Filters.
Okay, now the signal may be what? The signal may consist of undesirable noise. Okay, right. So to elimination is by what are called as by filters. Okay, right. So these are the things. Okay, then next one is manipulation of the signal. Okay, it means output is non-linear. Okay, but needs to be converted to linear signals. Okay, right. So these are all the 5 different processes that you are going to do. First is the protection. You are protecting the devices from the higher amount of current or voltage. Second one is you are trying to get the right type of signal by using the digital to analog converter or analog to digital converter. The third one is getting correct level of signal. That is nothing but getting the intensity of signal. Correct level is nothing but intensity of the signal. Okay, so getting the right intensity of the signal, that is by using the operational amplifier. Okay, then eliminating or reducing the noise. Okay, that you can do by using having a filters. Then you are having non-linear signal, but now that non-linear signal needs to be converted to linear signal. That is called as the manipulation of the signals. Okay, now this is about the brief starting of the signal conditioning. What do you mean by signal conditioning? Then what are the reasons for signal conditioning devices? Why you require signal conditioning devices? And what are the processes that you are going to follow? What are the processes that you are going to follow in case of signal conditioning devices? Okay, right. Next is okay. Next we'll go with okay. Amplifiers. Okay, we'll just start our discussion now. All these elements what I have listed we'll be discussing in this chapter. Okay, so this chapter is going to be dealing with completely about signal conditioning devices. So we'll be starting from amplifier, then we'll discuss protection devices, then we'll discuss filter. Okay, then we are going to discuss analog to digital converter, and then we'll discuss digital to analog converter. Okay, so this is the complete flow of the chapter what you are going to do with. Okay, right. Now let's understand what do you mean by an amplifier is. Okay, right. So basically amplifier is what? It's an electronic circuit. Okay, basically it's an electronic circuit which is going to be used to raise the level of to rise. Okay, it is going to be used to raise the level of electrical signal. Okay, it is going to be used to raise the level of electrical signals. Okay, right. Now just observe, an amplifier is what? An amplifier is relatively a simple electronic circuit used to raise the level of an electrical signal. Okay. Now basically the amplifier output signal. Okay, the amplifier output signal. Okay, the amplifier output signal is proportional to the input signals. Okay, right. Now generally what is going to happen is you will be having the low voltage output by the sensors. Okay, you are going to get the low voltage output by the sensors. Okay, so this is not possible. Okay, not possible to send for display. Okay, this is not possible to send for display. Okay, this is not possible to send for display. So therefore we are going to use, okay, what are going to be called as the amplifiers. Okay, for this particular purpose. Okay, amplifiers are used for what? Are used to increase. Okay, are used to increase the voltage signal. Okay, used to increase the voltage signals. Okay, right. So this is a brief about the amplifiers. Okay, right. Now in the amplifier, generally we use the word called as, okay, now a commonly used amplifier is going to be called as the operational amplifier. Okay, we call it as operational amplifiers. Okay, so amplifiers are nothing but we call them as what is called as operational amplifier. So in general terminologies, we call this as op amps. Okay, so this is generally we call it as op amps. Okay, so op amps is the commonly used terminology that and commonly used word for the operational amplifiers. Okay, right. Now this operational amplifier is the most commonly used. Okay, so this is the most commonly used. Okay, so this is the most commonly used, okay, device. Okay, most commonly used device for the mechanical, for the electronic devices. Okay, right. Now we use what are called as the operational. Now here we have used the word called as operational. What do you mean by operational is important? Why are we using the word called as operational? Okay, now we are using the operational because operational is used because amplifier performs. Okay, amplifier performs the mathematical operations. Okay, it performs the mathematical operations like the addition of signal. Okay, addition of signal and difference of the signal. Okay, then inversion of the signal. Okay, so inversion of the signal. Okay, and then what is called as integration of the signal. Okay, right, and then division of signal. Okay, division of signal. Okay, all this is going to be done, okay, by using the various different types of operational amplifier. Okay, by using various different amplifier we can use for addition of the signal or difference of the signal, inversion of the signal, integration of the signal, or division of the signal. Okay, now as we are going to use this amplifier to do so many operations, we call this amplifier as what is called as operational. Okay, the word operational is because that I am going to use it to carry out various mathematical operations. That's why we call this as op amps or operational amplifiers. Okay, is it clear to you? Are you understanding clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay, now we'll understand the representation of the op amps. Okay, that is schematic representation. Okay, schematic representation of op amps. Okay, right. Now, if you observe the schematic representation of the op amps, okay, now it's going to be something like this. Okay, now generally it is like this. It's a triangle, okay, with one input connected to negative terminal, another input connected to positive terminal, and the one input which connected to negative is called as inverting input, okay. The one which is connected to positive is called as non-inverting input, okay. Then we have what is called as output, and there are two supply voltages are going to be there. This is VCC, okay, positive, and then we have one more voltage called as VEE, which is negative, okay. So this is the connections of op amp. Okay, now how the connections are going to be done with op amp. This is the connection of op amp. If you use the symbol is just this triangle with two inputs and one output. Simple. Okay. So this is the symbol used for the operational amplifier. Okay, please understand clearly. So this is the connection of op amp or the schematic representation. Okay, so this is the connection of op amps. It is nothing but schematic representation. Okay, so schematic representation. So this one is going to be called as what is called as the symbol. Okay, right. Now understand carefully with this. Okay, now the figure shows. Okay, I'll explain what it is. The figure shows whatever this figure. Okay, it shows the schematic representation of the operational amplifier and also a symbol of operational amplifier. Okay, so it is represented as a triangle. Okay, it is represented as the triangle. The op amps is represented as the triangle. Okay, with two inputs. Okay, with two inputs and one output. Very important. Okay, so we have two inputs and one output. Now these two inputs are marked with negative, okay, and marked with positive. Okay, please understand. Now the input which is with negative is called as inverting input. Okay, inverting input. Okay, it means, okay, it means what is going to happen. Okay, now if this is the case, now if I am just right here, okay, this is a signal. Okay, can you understand? This is one sine wave. Are you understanding now? Have you observed it? Clear? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
this is your the input signal. After the output, now it is inverting input. What do you mean by inverting? What do you mean by inverting?
Both the sides.
Invert means what? What do you mean by invert? Reverse.
Reverse.
Okay, simple. Inverting is nothing but reverse. Now, this inverting input is going to the amplifier. Okay. So the level of signal is this much. Are you understanding? The amplitude of the signal is this much. What is going to happen to the amplitude once it goes through this amplitude? Will it increase or will it be same?
Increase.
Huh?
Increase.
Increases. Why it should increase? Because you are sending through the amplifier. Okay, you are sending it for the amplification. Therefore, what is the output? Now the output is going to be this way. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Means if you are giving the input through the inverting input, the output is going to be reversed. Okay, now the input is going to be like this. First, to start with, it is on the upper side. Okay, positive phase and then the negative phase. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Once the output is going to be, what is output is going to be what? It is going to be the positive phase has become negative phase, out of phase, and then the in phase. What has happened to the amplitude? Will the amplitude has increased or reduced or same?
Increase.
Increased. Okay, now this is the amplitude present, and now this is the amplitude which is going to be present. Okay, that means the input. Okay, the input through the inverting input. Okay, in the inverting input is going to have the output which is going to be amplified but phase reversed. Okay, similarly, if you supply at the positive terminal, okay, what is going to happen? Now the output is going to be out of phase. Now here again assume non-inverting. The same signal you are sending, okay, the same signal you are sending. What is the output expected? I'll write here. Okay, I'll write here.
Same.
What is the output expected? It is going to be
Same.
same. Okay, but with
More amplitude.
more amplification. Simple. Okay, it is going to be same phase but more amplification. Is it clear to you? Now amplification is going to be more. Okay, amplification is going to be more, but it is same phase. Okay, now that is the difference between what is called as your the inverting input and what is called as the non-inverting input. Okay, right. Now basically the amplifiers are going to be a versatile device. Okay, now if you take any PCB, printed circuit board, okay, so you are going to see a lot number of amplifiers which are going to be present. Okay, right. So this amplifier is nothing but it's a integrated chip basically, which consists of the internal resistors, capacitors and transistors. Okay, within your amplifier you are going to have so many number of transistors are going to be there, few of the capacitors are going to be there, and few of the resistors are going to be present. Okay, right. Now then we'll come with we'll try to understand what is called as the output. Okay, now the output is what generally the amplifiers whatever we are going to use called as the op amps. Okay, is a high gain amplifier. Okay, what do you mean by high gain amplifier? What do you mean by high gain amplifier? Any idea? High gain. What do you mean by high gain? High gain amplifier means what? Okay, gain is nothing but what? Okay, gain is nothing but simple. Okay, it is the ratio of V out by V in. What is V out? What is V out? V out is what?
Amplified signals.
Amplified signal. V out is the amplified signal. V in is nothing but the input signal. Okay, so high gain amplifier is nothing but the V out by V in. Okay, is going to be very larger. Okay, it is greater than, okay, sometimes, okay, greater than 1000. That means what? If you are going to give 2 millivolt, okay, if you are given 2 millivolt as the input, okay, so this is going to be input, the output is going to be amplified by an amount equal to greater than 1000. That means the output is going to be what? If I am going to take the gain of my amplifier as 1000, okay, example is the gain of the amplifier is 1000. The gain is 1000. Okay, it is not represented by any unit. Okay, the gain is 1000 because voltage by voltage. Okay, it is not having any unit. Gain is 1000. Okay, so let's say that V in is going to be 2 millivolt. Okay, therefore what is V out is going to become? V out is going to be what? Understanding or what?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so V out is going to be 2000 millivolts. That means what? The V in, you are sending 2 millivolts. The output whatever obtained is going to called as 2000 millivolts. Means to say, what I mean to say here is the operational amplifier whatever you are using is called as a high gain amplifier. Okay, so the operational amplifier is a high gain amplifier. Okay, so with 2 input terminal and with 1 output terminals. Okay, so again I am telling input is identified as inverting input and non-inverting input. Okay, output is going to be the one. Okay, right. Now we'll try to understand the features of operational amplifiers. Okay, we'll try to understand the features of operational amplifiers. Okay, right. Now in this operational amplifier, okay, so as we have discussed, the first feature, very important feature, is the input impedance is very high. Okay, right. Now the input impedance is very high. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, what is the meaning of input impedance is very high? Okay, is very important. Okay, right. Both the input whatever we are having is having the higher impedance. Okay, so input impedance is very high. It means virtually, okay, virtually no current enters the amplifier. Okay, virtually no current enters the amplifier. Okay, so that is the meaning. Okay, now It is having a high, very high impedance. Okay, it means what? The impedance is nothing but what? It's a resistance. Okay, so the input impedance is very high, means it offers more amount of resistance into the passage of current. When the input impedance is very high, what is the amount of current entering into the signal, entering into the system? Is it be high or low?
High, sir.
No, impedance is very high. Yeah? Impedance is very high, means the resistance is very high. If the resistance is very high, will there be any input of the current into the system?
No.
No. Okay, that means the input impedance is very high. That means virtually no current or lesser current enters into the system. Okay, right. That is one of the feature. Second feature is the output impedance. The output impedance is very low. Okay, right. What does it mean? The input impedance is very high. For the input signal, the resistance is very larger. Hence, no current enters into the system. Second feature is the output impedance is very low. Where this is happening? This is happening at the output of op amps. Okay. It means what? What is the meaning with respect to the current? Can you get a larger amount of current, or can you get a smaller amount of current?
Larger amount.
Okay, so it means larger amount of current. Okay, maybe drawn from the source. Okay, are you understanding now? The input impedance is very high. It means virtually no current enters into the system. The second point is the output impedance is very low. That is, the larger amount of current can be drawn. Okay, right. The third point is called as the op amp is a differential amplifier. It's a differential amplifier. Okay. Okay, right. Okay. Now, differential means what? What is by differential? Differential means what? Okay, I am having two signal V1 and V2. Differential means what? What is the meaning of differential here? Huh?
Varying.
Differential means what? Differential. Differential is the difference between the two signal. Okay. Difference between the two signal. Okay. Now what does it mean? The operational amplifier is a differential amplifier. It means what? It amplifies us. Okay. It amplifies us what? It amplifies the difference between the two. Means if you are giving two different signals as input, V1 also you are giving, V2 also is giving, it amplifies as V1 minus V2. Okay, V1 minus V2 is going to be amplified. Okay, are you understanding? That's why we call it as an operational amplifier. Okay, differential operational amplifier. Last one is the gain of, very important, the gain of op amp. The gain of op amp is very, very higher. That is why we are going to use this very high to the order of, to the maximum order of, the maximum order of 200,000. Okay, so you can understand how much you can able to use for the increase in the signal, how you can able to use this. Okay, right. Now these are the four features of the operational amplifier. Repeat again. The input impedance is very high. The input impedance very high, it means that virtually no current enters into the system. Okay. The second one is the output impedance is very low. Okay. That means once I say output impedance is very low, means there will be very less resistance against the current flow. Okay. When there is less resistance against the current flow, more amount of current can be passed because there is nobody to resist. Okay. If there is a resistance, the flow is lesser. If there is no resistance, the flow is more. Okay, right. Then the third one is the operational amplifier is a differential amplifier. The op amp is a differential amplifier. So therefore, difference between the two input signal is going to be amplified. Okay. So the last one is the gain of the operational amplifier is very high. The gain is very high to the order of 200,000. Okay, that means if you give a V1 as the V as the input, the output is going to be by 200,000 times the input value. Okay, now these are all the features of operational amplifiers. Okay, right. Now before we end, we'll just go with a what is called as the pin configuration. Okay, right. Okay, pin configuration. Okay, so pin configuration of operational amplifier, pin configuration of op amps. Okay, right. Now if you observe the what is that the chip, okay, the chip of your the op amps, okay, it is going to be called as the integrated circuit IC chip. So we represent it as IC741. Okay, IC741 is for what is called as op amps. Okay, right. Now this IP741, IC741, okay, it's an operational amplifier. It consists of, okay, it consists of what is called as 7 pins. Okay, it consists of 8 pins. Okay, so one here, this is the first pin, the second pin, so this is your third pin, and this is the fourth one. Okay, now there is something called as in the chip. Okay, if you observe in the integrated chip, if you observe, there is something called as indentation is present. Okay, indentation. Okay, so some mark present. Indentation is nothing but some identification mark. Okay, this indentation is called as the identification mark. Okay, this is called as identification mark. Okay, right. Wherever the mark is going to be present, from the left side to the left of the mark, you are going to start numbering the pins. Okay, how many pins? As I said, 8 pins. Okay, so to the left of the indentation, you start numbering continuously. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have fifth one. Then we have sixth one. Then we have seventh one. Then we have the eighth one. Okay, now this is the operational amplifier pins. Okay, right. Now to this pins, I am going to give the input. Okay, now here totally how many inputs are going to be there here totally? If you observe the connections of an operational amplifier, how many connections are present? Can you please tell me by looking at the diagram? How many pins are there? How many connections are there?
8.
No. Here it is 8. Okay. So here there are 8 pins are there. Okay. In the I draw the diagram. No, that is connections of operational amplifier. Schematic representation.
5.
5. Okay. Now observe in the operational amplifier there are here we have 8 pins, but out of 8 pins only 5 pins are going to be used. Okay. Please observe only 5 pins are going to be used. Out of 5 pins, 2 pins are 2 pins are for input, correct? One is inverting and another is non-inverting. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Pin number 2 is called as inverting input. Means if you want the inverting input connection to be made, the wire has to be connected to the pin number 2. Okay, that is called as inverting input. 3 is called as non-inverting input. Okay, 3 is called as non-inverting input. So 2 pins have been covered. Okay, so 2 is done already. Okay, then we have what? We have 2 pins for power supply. We have 2 pins for power supply. Okay, one is what?
VCC.
Okay, one is VCC, that is positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. Okay, now this is 7th pin is called as VCC, which is positive, and the 4th pin, okay, is called as VEE, okay, which is what? Which is negative. Okay, right. So now how many we have used already? 1, 2, 3, and 4 we have used. Okay. Then how many? One more pin is there. What is that? One more pin is going to be. One more pin is going to be 1 pin for what?
Output.
For output. For output of op amps. Okay, right. The 6th one. Okay, the 6th one is going to be used for output pin. This is output pin, which is VO or V out. Okay, so this is the pin configuration. Okay, so 1, 5, and 8. Okay, 1, 5, 8 are not used. Okay, just observe. Okay, 1, 5, and 8 are not used. Okay, 1, 5, 8 pin are not used. Other than that, we are going to use 2 and 3. Okay, 2 pins is 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3 for input terminal. Then 4 and 7 for the power terminal, and 6 is for what is called the output terminal. Okay, right. Now understand carefully. The operational amplifier pin is a single op amp 8 pin IC chip. Okay, so integrated circuit chip. So basically we have 5 different terminals. So 2 input terminal, 2 power terminal, and 1 output terminal. Okay, right. Now we have the indentation. Okay, so to the left of the indentation, your number is going to start. Okay, right. Now pin 2 is basically the inverting input terminal. Now you know that when the voltage is connected to the inverting input terminal, you are going to get the output through pin number 6, but the output is going to be out of phase. The output is out of phase and the voltage is going to be increased. If you have supplied the input to the number 3, okay, the output at number 6 is going to be in phase, but it is increased. Okay, right. So that is the case of 2, 3, and output is 6. Then pin 4 and 7 are going to be the power supply terminals. Okay, and number 6 is going to be output terminals. Okay, right. So these are all the things which are important from the operational amplifiers. Okay, now we have started with what is called as signal conditioning. Okay, right. Signal conditioning definitions we have understood. What is the definition of signal conditioning? Then reasons for signal conditioning we have understood. Why we are going to use the signal conditioning, that we understood. Okay, then after the reasons we understood what are going to be called as the processes used for signal conditioning. Okay, then after understanding the processes, we started our discussion with what are called as the amplifiers. Okay, what is operational amplifier? What is amplifier we have discussed. Then we have come up with a word called as operational amplifier. Okay, why we call it as operational amplifier? Why we use the word operational here?
Additional.
Okay. Okay, right.
Performance.
Yeah. Okay, mathematical. We are going to use the amplifier in order to carry out the mathematical operations. Okay, like addition, subtraction, division, differentiation, integration, like that. That's why we call it as operational amplifiers. Okay, then we understood the schematic representation. Okay, so schematic representation with 5 different inputs. Okay, sorry, with 5 different terminals with 2 input, 1 output, and 2 power terminals. Okay, then we understood the symbol of the operational amplifiers. Okay, and very importantly the features. Okay, how many features are there?
4.
4 feature. Okay, number 1 is the input impedance is very high. Okay, number 2, output impedance is very low. Okay, number 3, operational amplifier can be used as a differential amplifier, by which it amplifies us the difference in voltage. Fourth one is the operational amplifier is a very high gain amplifier. The gain of the amplifier is greater than, okay, is nearer to 200,000. Okay, that is the amount of amplification that you are going to get. Okay, so after the features, then we understood what is called as the pin configuration. Okay, so pin configuration of op amps. Okay, we understood the pin configuration of the op amps. Okay, right. Under this, we understood there are 8 pin configurations are going to be present, and out of which 5 pins are going to be used, 3 pins are not going to be used. Okay, right. So this is with respect to broadly about the different types of the amplifier, different concept of the amplifier. Now when we come for the next class, we will understand the what do you call as the different types of amplifiers. Okay, what for amplifiers are going to be used. Okay, so next class onwards there is a derivation. Okay, so I expect you to note down the derivation along with me. Okay, So these derivations are going to be asked for 8 to 10 marks. So we'll practice the derivation together. Okay, you'll also do, and you will also be doing a derivation. Therefore, so from next class, we'll use the notebook for the effective working of the derivations. Okay, so I think we'll stop at this stage. Okay, so we'll continue the class in the next tomorrow class. Okay, right. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anything is there?
No.
That's all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, right. If nothing is there, I'll take leave from you. So be there in the same link. Okay. So the next class will be continued from here. Okay, right. Thank you.